Well, it's fantastic to have the wonderful Eamonn Holmes with us this evening for our Father's Day special concert. Eamonn, thank you very much for coming and being a part of it. How have you been during our lockdown?
Well, I tell you, I'm a lot better now after hearing you sing. Just the power of music, that music has this tremendous gift of being able to raise us or bring us down. It affects our moods and helps us to remember things good and bad. It's so emotional, it's so powerful. And I think when, people listen to you doing what you do, it just unleashes emotions that people probably didn't even think were in them.
It does, because I remember you invited me to sing at your OBE ceremony, and you specifically asked me to sing a song that's very dear to you, and I'm going to be singing that tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about what is that song that's dear to you, and why it's so special?
My father, in 1986, I ended up going to England, and I was leaving home, and Dad, at an assembled group, got down on his knees and sang to me, serenaded me with Danny Boy. And from that point of view, it always reminds me of home. It always reminds me of my dad, and therefore it's quite an emotional song.
But obviously, your dad was very, very proud of you. He's seen your success.
He saw my success, I suppose, up until 1991, which, bear in mind, was before GMTV, when it really sort of took off for me in 92. So he didn't see the biggest years. He didn't see, the Saturday night lottery programs and various other documentaries and things like that. But, he would have seen me, the great heights I got to with Good Evening Ulster in Northern Ireland, and then daytime TV with the BBC, and a lot of sport. I mean, he saw me host the World Darts and the World Snooker tournaments, and I think he was very, very pleased about that. He thought that was great because he was a fantastic snooker fan as well. So he tasted of that, but even I didn't know what was yet to come.
And fantastic things did come, Eamonn. And is it something that your father wanted you to pursue, or did you naturally just go into broadcasting? Is that?
Well, we were all really expected to be carpet fitters. My father was a carpet fitter, and each of my four brothers can carpet fit, and I just couldn't. That was it. I was useless, and it was very, very physical, and it was always stuck in my mind as well. My dad died at 65, and he was still working as a carpet fitter. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like everybody, I'm sure it's like doing what you do. People don't. It's hard for people to relate to. Yeah, I want to be on the TV. Yeah, I want to be an international singer. Yeah, sure you do. Yeah, fine. It's very hard. There's no real job application for it, and so I was very, very lucky, very, very blessed. And when I realized I was half good at it, I decided, to really work hard at it, because to make up for the fact that I was so rubbish at carpet fitting, which is true. I wanted my dad to be proud of me doing something.
Did he ever tell you that he was proud?
Dad would say, I went into this house and it was Judge so-and-so, or it was, so-and-so head of the bank or whatever. And they said to me, you must be very proud of your son. And I just said to them, which son? Which one's that? And they would say, Eamonn on the TV. And he would say, I'm proud of all of them.
So what will you be doing on Father's Day then? What are you doing today?
Well, as it turns out, three of them are back in Belfast. We'll be apart. But the amazing thing is, this Zoom business that you and I are doing, that so many people who are watching you tonight, because of the power of Facebook and FaceTime and Zoom and all this sort of thing, the world has become such a smaller place. There will definitely be one of our regular Zoom gatherings. You and I sitting talking here, and everybody watching on Facebook are probably going, wind it up, get rid of them.
No, because when I announced that you were doing being a special guest on tonight's concert, the amount of messages I got from people to ask you different questions. But the main thing that people were asking was just what you were saying there, is it's great to see you on TV and you interviewing people and, doing your thing. But people love to hear how you got started, because it is a very difficult industry now. And if you had advice for them, is it something that people can do, or they just get lucky? Do they have to go on, sort of reality TV shows in order to get famous now? Is it just that way now, or can people
The
go through?
formula, the way the business is, you see, when in the 1980, when I got on television, there were local television companies, there were regional television companies, and there were national television companies.
Yes,
Now they're only national.
yes.
It's only national. It's ITV and, well, BBC Northern Ireland, in fairness, do a fair amount of regional programming as well. I do think luck has to play a part. And for me, I can see a number of occasions in my life, particularly my early career, where it played a part. One of the things I'd say to anybody is, don't hide your light under a bushel. Say to people what you want to do. And in my journalism class, I said what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a television broadcaster, which everybody laughed at in the class. But when the job became available, an opportunity became available, the lecturer phoned me and said, Ulster Television are looking for farming reporters. And it was because I was the one who said, I wanted to be on TV. The rest of them didn't. So I got the chance of the audition. Then another piece of even more incredible luck was I went in to be given the job, and I asked the producer how much I was going to get paid. And he said, you're going to get paid the National Union of Journalists rate, which is £44.44. Well, no, it's not enough. I'm sorry. I want more money. 3,200 is just not enough. And he said to me, are you kidding me? He said, he said, you are 19 years of age. He said, and you're turning the job down. He said, I've never had anybody turn a job down here at Ulster Television, let alone being a teenager like you. Get out. So he threw me out. And when I was on my way out, his PA said to me, what happened? What happened? They loved you. What happened? And I said, what? £44, 44 pence a week. I said, I may be young, but I'm not stupid. And she said, that's not a week, that's a day. I told him I misunderstood, whatever, and I got the job back. He said, you start on Monday, you don't start at all.
But I mean, it's obviously something that you were good at as well. So you were natural and you were able to continue your success and move on nationally. Did you ever sort of set your sights on America, or is that something that you never were interested in doing?
I was offered the job as a weather forecaster in Colorado.
Oh, wow.
I then went to America, and I was asked to do a quiz show for afternoon telly in America, and I went over to do 10 episodes or so, and 2 episodes in, they said, no, this is amazing. We're gonna do 40 episodes, and we're gonna do them in the evening, and it was absolutely incredible. I had an audience of hundreds of people who would chant my name. They would all chant, "Amen, Amen."
Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. And and I would come out on stage, whatever. And this was amazing. I got a stretch limo. I went through Beverly Hills. I phoned Ruth and I said, well, look, you're going to have to give everything up. We're going to have to move Jack from school. We're going to have to, because we're going to be living in California. This is incredible. So I went home. They transmitted the program, and it was 8 o'clock on a Monday evening, and it was up against 24 Lost and a program called The Biggest Loser, which was about losing weight.
Weight loss, yeah.
And it came fourth in its slot. Anyway, it never saw a program 2. That was the end of it. Everything we did was never shown.
Will there be a retirement, or will you retire, or is it something that you think about?
I think the thing about lockdown for many of us, it makes you maybe see things differently and hear things differently. I was very aware today that how used I've been getting to silence, quietness over the past 8 or 10 weeks. No, I quite like the quietness that I had. So you sort of think, should I live somewhere else? Should I do something else? And also I think you get very aware we're not on this planet forever. So it would be, I'm not sure what I want to do, but I'd certainly like to spend more time at home. Things you do, like spiritual things you do, like, like song music in your life, just a simple thing, but yet one of the most sophisticated things any of us will ever experience.
And can I ask, do you sing, Eamonn?
Very well.
Very well. Right. Well, I believe you do a very mean Elvis. I've heard this story. Is it true?
I like Elvis. I like lots of music. I love 70s disco stuff. For whatever reason, it sort of brings me back to being a teenager. And I love all that, Saturday Night Fever, Grease type I do love music. I really do love music. Yeah.
Good, very eclectic mix.
A very eclectic. That's
Very
me. And a bit of classical. I should tell you that, of course, a bit of classical in there as well. Yeah.
And you do enjoy listening to me as well, Eamonn, am I right?
You're my
Not just
number
Nashville
one.
singers.
See all those downloads you get. You just see my name beside them all.
Oh, Eamonn, I mean, I can't keep up with the amount of downloads you're doing. So before, we will talk about this evening and what we're trying to raise money for. But before we go, Eamonn, I do actually have to ask you, can you give us your mean aha Elvis? Because one little, any kind of impersonation of Elvis would be fabulous. Just
Gosh.
even, we can do this again, and we can
can
have
do
a
this again.
evening. We can have a country evening.
Uh-huh.
See, I love that. That's all we need. That's all we
do the
need.
lip.
Yeah. And he was a very handsome man too. It was that generation.
I like that too. Business like that too.
Yeah.
Well, he was the best, wasn't he? Nobody the best all-round entertainer. If there was one entertainer you could ever see live, to me, it would be Elvis. People might say Sinatra or Dean Martin or whatever, but for me, it was Elvis.
Yeah.
Little things I should have said and done, I just hadn't got the time. But you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. And that is why I don't sing out loud. There you go.
Well, Eamonn, that is fantastic. You didn't want to be too good because you could take away from me tonight.
I like that, not too good.
Just before we go, and I want to thank you so much for being a part of our concert tonight. And I'd just like to ask, is there any sort of thing that you can talk to the audience about why they think they should donate to Alzheimer's? Now, I have to congratulate you. I know yourself and Ruth won quite a bit of money in a recent television show, and I know you're big supporters of Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
We all have our personal reasons for backing Alzheimer's, but is there anything that you would like to say to our watchers and viewers tonight and why they should donate?
I probably think, Margaret, there's probably very little I do have to say to folk, because this awful disease enters so many of our lives and so much of our family circle. And the older people live, the more likely they are, though not exclusively, to get this and be touched by this as well. And I think you won't have to go far amongst everybody watching you to have someone in their family who has had this or is going through this. And also to say, when a person gets Alzheimer's, it's not just them, because the family have to deal with that, the friends have to deal with that, the people around have to deal with that. And often the person who's suffering, they're still there, they're still alive, but they're gone. They're gone. And that's the hard thing, that's the cruel thing with all of this, seeing someone who you recognize, seeing someone who you know, but them not knowing you, and you not recognizing really who they are either. So we all know the horribleness of this, and it's so good of you to be doing what you're doing, and making us aware, making us think, making us be thankful, and making us, even if we are experiencing this, to smile and forget whilst you are there being the songstress that you are. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Eamonn. And it's been an absolute pleasure. We're very, very proud of you here in Northern Ireland, and keep doing what you're doing. Good evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.